person, something like that. A why, you have to actually kind of think of that answer. Like that's always what makes that connection for me is it's like, how do you think that through?
Lindsay asked, is no and new the same?
Yes. So I'm actually going to get on this right now and explain this. And then we can go over the WH question words, and then we can start our list tonight. So one of the cool things about ASL, I might have gone over this before, and now that I'm saying it, I'm like, I might have, but I'm going to review it again. With ASL is that there's really not a difference between past words and like now words. Example as new and no. It's going to be the same one. So the way that they'll know which route you're talking about is if you're talking about something that's already happened or if it's happening now. Like if, for example, if I'm trying to think of a sentence that's not drama filled. It's not really, but my brain's like, did you know this? Like I'm thinking that sort of thing.
What if you were going to say something like, Henry had a stomach ache after eating all his Halloween candy, and you were going to say, well, I knew that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is there a difference?
Yeah, I would go. I would still sound like I know, and you don't have to add that me know. You could just go I know. Some people will do. Wow, we're getting smaller in here, guys. Some people will do no like finished to add that, and that's also something you can use in the end if you're trying to like say like you already like this is I kind of use the word finished as also the sign for like already, like I knew already, or like I ate already. I ate, this is that ate finished. A lot of people will use that finish sign with it, which it's basically you show the back of your hands and you turn them forward. Finished. And you kind of have like a little flick with them. Yeah, so it's like that kind of motion. Because if you just shake them like this, that's actually clapping in sign language, by the way. It's just this. This is how you say like celebrate and stuff. It's really cool going to like a little pep rally and all the kids going, woo, with the hands just waving in the air. It's really cute. But yeah, so just that finished motion of like it's done. And so you start the back and then out. I'm adding more dramatics, but usually it's just finished. Okay. So I was trying to remember what the next step was. So who, what, when, where, why. Okay. I am going to make myself bigger. If I can remember how to do this. There we go. And then, okay, there we go. Okay, so the first question, geez Louise. Guys, teacher brain after Halloween, last week about got me done. Please bear with me. We're still recovering at school. It was a hot mess last week. Okay, so for the sign for who, if we remember, you're gonna have that L shape, have it on your thumb, and then do that little curl motion. Who. And remember, and eyebrows, very important. Even if you think you look angry, you're not. Then we had what? I always think with this one, like, I don't know, when you see like people are trying to like do gesturing from like a far away and someone goes, what? Like, they're like, huh? Like, I don't know. I think of that, like what? Like, I do not catch on. Then we have where. So where is that pointer finger? It's going to be slightly bent, not a full X, just a little curve. And you go where. And then we have when, which is going to be the 2 pointer fingers. And one goes in a circular motion. Excuse me, when. Then our why. So remember, there's 3 ways you can do why. First one is doing that no shape that we just did. And then coming into a Y. So Y. Turning it so y'all can see. Y. Then the other one is with that middle finger. Y. So it's like you're just touching the side of your forehead and pulling away. Y. And then the third one was the same thing, but you bounce it. Y. Then we had how. Remember, how is you have 2 thumbs up and one's going to turn forward. How. How. Mm-hmm. And then the other two we did with how much and how much, how many, same sort of thing. So how much, or how many. It kind of like that one teeters because it depends on what you're saying. Like how many apples, how much is price it gets. Well, no, because I'm thinking. Sorry, that was me. Just whenever I zone, I promise I'm just thinking. Because if I were just to ask how much money was that, I would probably go the sign for money, which is like you're holding and you're patting it. You're back, like trying to see. So you have your non-dominant palm up. Dominant's kind of like, I don't even know. I guess think Italian, you know, when you're like, they make that motion. I'm sorry, I know that's a terrible example, but that's just the best way I can think of. And then you're tapping it on top, money. I'd probably do money, how much, just so they know I'm asking like a money price, like range. But that's something like if I was like going to like the local market and I want apples and I'm like, how much? You know, I'd probably go mini money or money, how much? That sort of thing. I think that was all of our WH question words. So does anybody have any other questions they want to ask before we get into our class title grouping tonight? Are we good? Okay. So, tonight's subject, what we're going to work on tonight is different types of food. So I am going to warn you, if you've not eaten yet, you're going to be hungry by the end of this class. It happens every time. I usually get hungry, but I ate beforehand. It happened to coincide perfectly. Because I thought we were doing animals this week, but that's next week. So when I saw this food, I was like, oh, good, I've already eaten. So just a fair warning, so you get ready and know. The first sign we're going to do is the sign for food itself. So the sign for food is food. Food. Mm-hmm. And you just do it right in front of your lips. Mm-hmm. Food. Now, this one for food, a good recommendation is just to bounce it more than once. So like you can bounce it. I mean, there's not a strict, you can only bounce it 2 times. You can only bounce it 3 times. There's not. You can do it however many times, but just do it more than one. And the reason for that is one time is eat. So food, eat. And that's something you guys will start to I notice a little bit is that when there's a word that can be, or 2 words that can be the noun and then the verb or an action. Well, I mean, it's that's a verb, but those things, they will put them together with the same sign, but do a different, they'll change it up just a little. It goes along with some other signs that we'll get to later on. So we had our food and then eat. And I'm tilting my head just to show you there's a difference. That you don't have to, it's not like you only can only tilt to the left side of my face and do food. No, that I promise that's not a thing. So the first group of categories of types of food we're going to do is fruit. So the first one is fruit itself. You're going to make an F. You're going to put the pinching part right at the corner of your mouth, and you're going to go back and forth. Fruit. And this is just your basic sign for fruit. Okay. Then we're going to do apple. The sign for apple is going to be, you're going to have that X. You're going to put it at the corner of your mouth and you go apple. Mm-hmm. Then we have orange. Orange is going to be orange. And I typically put this a little more not by the bottom of your chin. Excuse me, I have so many hiccups. Because this can get confusing with the sign for age. Because age is like you pull, like how old are you? So you want your orange to be kind of like in front. Orange. Then we have strawberry. Sign for strawberry is going to be your thumbs up. You're going to have the palm of, not the palm. I cannot think of this. Why can't I think of it right now? The thumbprint part is going to go on your chin. And this is strawberry. Then Let's see, how many is that? Oh, that's actually 5. Sorry, I was trying to see what the next group of 5 would be. So let's go back through our food, all the way back to food. So we had food. Then we had eat. Then we had fruit. Then apple. Then orange. Then strawberry. This one used to get me, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I was trying to figure out how the best way to describe it, because I used to do this for strawberry. This is like secret, like private. And I would consistently be like, you want, and they'd go, no, I want strawberries. And I finally go, oh, oops, I did it wrong. So that's why it's always like when I stare at it, I'm like, which way is it again? I know it now, but it's like my brain still wants to say, this is wrong. It should be this one. It's not. So the next one I have is grapes. What you're going to do is you're going to have your non-dominant facing with your palm down. Your dominant hand is going to kind of have this open motion, be on top, and you're going to go grapes. And it's like the motion of grapes on a vine or bunches of grapes. So when you think about the grapes are all together, think about like your little tip taps are all the pieces of grapes. If you were trying to be specific about what kind of grapes you were talking about, like the like green grapes or things like that, you would add the color to it. So green grapes. That's how you make that difference. The next one is banana. Banana is super easy. It's banana. So you're just peeling the banana. Good. The next one is peach. So peach is going to be peach. And I think of this as like peach fuzz. And like, I don't know why it clicks so well to me. Peach and peach fuzz. Then we have lemon. So lemon is going to be an L. You're going to put it again at the corner of your mouth. And then you're going to bounce that pointer finger. Lemon. Then we have tomato. So unfortunately, tomato does not have its own like sign. It has 2 signs put together, which for me, who doesn't really like tomatoes, I was like, that's fine with me. Other people I tell, they're always like, tomato doesn't have its own sign. So yeah, what you're going to do for tomatoes, you're going to do the sign for red, which is red. Do red. And then you're going to like kind of make like a little flat circle with your non-dominant hand. And you're going to slice. Like you're cutting slices of it. So red, slice, slice, slice. That's the sign for tomato. Okay. Let's go back through those 5. So we had our grapes. Then we had our bananas. Banana. Excuse me. Then we had our peaches. Then we had lemon. Then tomato. Okay. So now we're going to go on to our next little category, which is vegetables. So I don't think I have as many vegetables. I won't lie. I think I have about 4 or 5 vegetables. You guys are more than welcome to add more, ask more. Sometimes the ones more specific and more not as commonly used end up just being finger spelling. So I'm just giving you that FYI now. So if you ask me and you're like, why does she keep saying it's all finger spelling? That's how it is. So the first sign we're going to do is the sign for vegetable, which is going to be a V, corner of your mouth, like we did for fruit. And then you're going to do that same bouncing motion, vegetable. Then the next one is corn. There are two ways you can do corn. They're very similar motion, but it just kind of changes how you have your hands placed. The first one is like you're holding it like this, and you're gonna burrow back and forth in front of your teeth. Corn. So like you're eating it, corn on the cob. The other one is going to be corn, corn, corn. So it's like you're kind of starting your hand away and then going forward. Corn. The reason I think that some people do this one instead of this one is because this one can also look like you're brushing your teeth. And that can get confusing. But I actually do see this one typically more. Again, context kind of saves you. But I think some people do this because this one gets confusing. The next one I have is potato. So potato is going to be your non-dominant is going to be in a fist. Your dominant is going to be in that V, have it bent, and then you're going to tap it on top. Potato. This is also the sign for chips, like potato chips. What people typically will do if you're trying to explain like you want chips instead of potatoes, you would finger spell chips after you could do the motion, then do chips. Most people catch on pretty well though. I haven't seen anybody have really big issues, and I myself haven't had as many issues with talking about chips and then potatoes. But there's a few occasions when you have events that will have both of those things there. I would resort to the chips. Oh, if you were going to do something like sweet potato, what you would do is you would add sweet and then do potato. Sweet potato. The next one is going to be cabbage / lettuce. I'm going to show you two signs that I've seen. The first one, though, is the one I see way more often. And yeah, this is the one I kind of more commonly see, and I more commonly like recommend this one. It's going to be cabbage. So it's like a very open C. There we go. Very open C. And you put it next to the side of your head. And if you think about it, it's like the head and all the like lettuce leaves. Like I think about that. Cabbage and lettuce. The other one I've seen sometimes is they'll put an L and they'll do the L right here. The reason that one I don't see as common, and I think I just kind of struggle with, is that a lot of people's name signs will be around the head and the face. Like, because I've talked about name signs, right, with you guys? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm so
I don't
sorry.
think you've told this class yet.
Well, we're going to have an impromptu hold real quick while I explain a name sign, because that is so important. I cannot believe I forgot that. So what's really cool in deaf culture is that when you're talking about different people and you're talking about names, I told you when you introduce yourself, you go, my name, and then you go Gillian. But it gets to a point when you're constantly talking about people, you don't have to fingerspell everyone's name over and over again, especially if you have really, really long names. Like that's you're gonna get a hand cramp from that. So what they do is they have this thing called a name sign. And it is a sign that is given specifically for you. And it really relies on personality. And so it's super cool because when you meet a deaf person, most will not just give you a name sign, just, oh, I'm going to give you one. They like to get to know you, get to know your personality, and then they give you one. Like when there are deaf babies born of deaf families, what they'll do is, yes, they may give them their name, on their birth certificate the day they were born, but they don't give them their sign until like a few months into them like being born, and maybe even a year or two, just to figure out what's their personality. So a hearing person can get a name sign, but the biggest thing is that they can't assign their own name signs. You have to receive it from a deaf person. And so mine is G on the top of my cheeks. And the reason for this is I got it in high school, and it's because my cheeks typically get really, really red when I sign and I talk. My cheeks are big. That's always been the thing for me. I've had very chubby cheeks. So the G on top is the G for Gillian, and then my red cheeks. And a lot of people tend to be more, I like to say that one's not always as common. It can be, but not as common as what I've seen. A lot of people's will be around the mouth or around their heart. Well, they'll be like, I'm going to say like a K, in front of their hearts because they're kind-hearted, which is sweet. But you have so many people. It's almost like having another Jane name, not as something that you see more often and very common. The same thing can be say with like a K on the corner of your mouth for that she smiles a lot, things like that. So, and I like how mine's just a little different. But what a lot of them will be is around the face. They're not really always away. It's always going to be either the heart around the face, or it's going to be like emotion. Like I have one coworker who is this. That's her name sign, and it stands for the D and the J of her name. D, and it's just that bouncing motion that will be her name sign. So a lot of people do have their names around here with the L. So that's why I think lettuce kind of throws me when I see this, and I see more people doing this one anyways. But that's just a little fun tidbit about name signs. I think they're really cool. And I always love asking people, where'd you get your name sign? And they'll tell you, oh, my name sign is this or because of this. And it's really cool. I think it's fascinating. So yeah, there was my little side story about name signs. Also, it's like a huge honor when you get one. So just saying, if you do meet a deaf person, do know a deaf person, you start to talk, and then they ask you about a name sign, and then they give you one, like, give yourself a pat on the back. You had enough conversation and communication with the person that you were able to get a name sign. Like, it's a very cool thing. Okay, so back to our foods that we were talking about. So we had our cabbage. The next one I have is carrot. And so for carrot, it's carrot. Like the motion of just biting a piece of carrot. Like I just think, honestly, I think Bugs Bunny every time. Carrot. And then our last one is pickle. So pickle is going to be, pickle kind of, I've seen people do just the regular old sour face, which I think we talked about last week with candy. So sour, but I also see it's really, I know it's a P, but it's like kind of up like a K. And it's that your middle fingers in the corner, pickle. I do see this one more, pickle. I think it's because there's already enough sour and sweet like candy over here that's just like, I can't tell which one you're talking about. So then they add that little pickle. So yeah. Okay, let's go back through our vegetables. So we had the sign for vegetable, which was the V, and then pointer finger, vegetable. Then we had corn, or corn. Then potato, sweet potato. Then cabbage. Then carrot. And then pickle. Okay, so now the next part I have is, so I have this here because it always relates with pickle. I'm gonna go over them because I think we talked about some of them last week, is the different kinds of like seasonings, like spices. So I have sour, sweet, hot, spicy, and cold. Those kind of like different ways you can describe food. So the first one I have is sour, which we did last 2 weeks ago. Sour. With that like, ooh, that was sour face. Then sweet. Sweet. Then hot. So hot's going to be open hand in front of your mouth, and then you slam it down like hot. That also can talk about like the temperature, like it's hot in here. So it doesn't just only have to relate to that the food's still hot. It can talk about like, I'm feeling hot. Like I don't feel good, that sort of thing. The next one is spicy. So spicy is going to be, there we go. I always either do dragon or spicy first. I have to always make sure I do it correctly because they're very similar, and I'll show you. So spicy is going to be, your fingers are going to face your mouth, and you're going to go spicy. So like, think about like the flames, like when you taste something that's really spicy and you're like I was thinking of the cartoons where they're like, their mouths are on fire because it's so spicy. Spicy. Dragon, because we're here right now, is dragon. And that's because you are shooting out the flames. So you see how there can be an easy confusion. So think dragon is where it's like you're pushing out the flames. And then spicy is because the flames are just burning you, like your mouth is on fire. Okay. The next one I then have is cold, which is the same as, I think, something else with cold, but it's cold. Cold. Like you bundle up. You're like, ooh, cold. Okay. Let's go through those 5 again. So we had our sour. Then sweet. Then hot. Then spicy. Then cold. Okay, so now we're getting into more of our main entrees sort of thing. So the first one I have is the sign for pizza. Now, there are 2 ways you can sign pizza that I've seen. One is more common. The other one is one I actually learned and thought was common until I started teaching at a deaf school. And so for pizza, it's going to be, it's almost like, imagine like you're holding a slice of pizza. Like I have this, it's a very weird curve. Like I don't even know how to show it. And then you bring it to your mouth. Pizza. The other one that I used for a very long time was this. So you like have the V, you bend your fingers, and you make a Z. Pizza. Then I had to have a whole argument with one of my students because he was like, that one is wrong. Because I was just telling him, oh, I learned this. And they're like, no, it's pizza. And it's a whole thing. I have students who think, no, this is all right. And it's like, there are different regions. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, yes, I've seen this one. And it's a fun conversation to have when you keep trying to tell them, no, I've seen it. And they're like, no, I don't believe it. The next one is salad. So what you're going to do with salad is you're going to have these opened seed, like really open wide hands. They're not a full like 5 fingers. They're just curved still. And you're going to go salad. So like the tossing of the salad. Like I think of Olive Garden when you go and you have the salad being tossed in front of your table. Salad. And if you see, I'm kind of having my hands still kind of curved upward. So it's not full like bringing it together. It's like I'm holding and I'm lifting. Salad. Then we have hamburger. So hamburger is going to be hamburger. Think about like making the meat, like making the patties. That's what I think about. Is how you're forming the patties. Hamburger. If you wanted a cheeseburger, what you'll do is you'll add the sign for cheese. So the sign for cheese is like your non-dominant's kind of in the sideways palm. Your dominant's going to have the palm go to the top, and you're going to shake your hand. Cheese. So cheese, burger. Cheese. Then we have spaghetti. So spaghetti is going to be your pinkies. You're going to have them close, and you're going to spiral them. So think about the noodles all together. This is also the basic sign for pasta. Really, see, what's weird to me is I'm always like, whenever I have a conversation about pasta or spaghetti, like this is like the first thought of is spaghetti. And then sometimes they'll go spaghetti and then they'll fingerspell pasta. So hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Just trying to get her away from the window. So that's kind of the one I'll see for really both, is that you'll just say spaghetti or you'll say pasta. If it's a really big deal, when in doubt, fingerspell. I feel like that should be like the quote of this like class, Miss Katie, is when in doubt, fingerspell. Because I feel like I say that every class is like, you're never gonna go wrong with fingerspelling something. The next one I have is the sign for fish. So the sign for fish is going to be your non-dominant in that open palm. Dominant is going to be pointer. You're going to point to the bottom, and then you're going to make your motion. It's like a motion of a fish. Fish. This is for the animal and the food. It's very easy to figure out the context of it. If you're talking about a specific kind of fish, most of the time, things like tilapia and flounder, you would finger spell to tell the difference. So you'd say fish and then tilapia, that sort of thing. Which I recommend if you have to have something that's a really fancy, like albacore. I'm not making up, but picking random ones. If it's really, really important, go for it. But if not, they'll know you're talking about fish still. Crab does have its own, though. And so crab is going to be crab. Crab. So like the little pinchers. Crab. Now, if we're talking about just a plain piece of meat, like steak and things like that, what you do is, well, really, this is the overall sign for meat, is you're going to have your non-dominant in this side hand again. You have wide fingers or not, it's fine. Your dominant's going to have the middle and the thumb clamp onto it. And this is meat. So the reason for this one, it actually, if you think about it, makes sense. Think about like an old butcher shop and how the meat's hanging on a hook. You know, they typically have it hanging. It's that sort of thing. So the meat's on the hook. Meat. If you were going to specify, like if you're talking about pig or ham, ham or beef. There we go. I'm saying all the other ones that are not. You would do the sign for the animal. So like for ham, it's pig, which is back of your hand goes under your chin, and you bring your hand in. So this is pig, and this also means ham. Then cow, which is what it would be for beef, is you make the Y again. Your thumb is going to go on top of your side of your forehead, and you go cow, cow. And that's for the horns. So, yeah, it's always a little fun. I remember the first time Miss Katie saw those signs, she was like, horrified. She's like, they don't have, they're not like this. And I was like, be just a little blunt. You pig, and oh yeah, it was a whole thing, which is why I said pig when I meant to say ham, and then I almost said cow when I meant to say beef, because I was like, I don't say those often anymore because it's just cow and pig. So yeah, love how blunt ASL can be sometimes. Okay, so then the next one I have is, we kind of hit, oh wait, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm just going ahead. Let's go back through what we have. I can do that sometimes. I'll just keep going. So we stopped on, that's right. All right, so we started with pizza. 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 So think about holding a slice of pizza and how you would feed yourself it. Pizza. Then we have salad. Salad. Then we had hamburger. Hamburger. If we wanted a cheeseburger, cheese burger. Then fish. 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 I know I went spaghetti. My order's a little off. Fish. Then spaghetti. Spaghetti or pasta. Make sure you add that little spiral to it, because if you go straight across like this, that's actually the sign for line, like a line, like a linear line. So, little fun fact. Pasta, line. Then we had crab, crab. Then our meat. So we have the sign for meat itself, meat. And then I had added ham, ham. And then our beef, beef. And I would recommend doing meat before those two, just so you're making it clear you are talking about the beef, like the hamburger meat, something like that. That just helps to specify. Okay, so now what I have is I have egg. So the sign for egg is going to be 2 H's. Gonna have them on top of each other, and then you bring them down. And it's like cracking the egg. 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 Then I have bacon. So bacon is going to be 2 H's again. They're going to be sideways for touching, and you go bacon, bouncing back and forth. And it's like the ridges when you cook bacon and does all those ridge bumps. There's your bacon. Okay. Then we have bread. So bread is going to be, whoops, you're going to have this and you're going to go bread. Bread. Sorry, I don't sign bread often, so my brain was like, we sure that's right? But yeah, that's bread. Okay, let's see. Where's our next one? Okay, so then I have the sign for breakfast. Now, there are really 2 ways that you can do it. One's the more common, like everyone's going to catch it. This one is a little more, can be regional, depends on where you're at. So the one that's the most common is literally what you do is you just do morning food. So morning food. The other one, breakfast, is going to be a B, and you put it kind of like the side of your mouth, breakfast. And you kind of want to like, I'm coming down, like breakfast. This one is just, see, I was told only do morning food, but then I came to my school and everyone's like, yeah, it's breakfast. I think it's to help with a lot of younger kids too. So that's why I say it can be regional, is that we may use it, but like at other places, they may not use it. So when in doubt, morning food. Lunch. Now this one is a more unanimous one, and it's going to be an L, and you're going to put your thumb right in front. Lunch. Lunch. Then dinner. And so dinner is also everyone signs it this way. It's going to be a D. Do the same thing as lunch. Dinner. And there's no difference between dinner and supper. They'd still be the same thing. Okay, let's go through those. So we had our eggs. Then we had our bacon. Bacon. Then we had our bread. Why is that giving me weird feelings? Sorry, I'm gonna check on this one. I don't know why my brain's like saying that's not right. I just, every time I'm staring at it, I'm like, no, I think it's the tomatoes throwing me off right now. Because I keep thinking like I'm doing this and I'm like, I'm not, I'm doing bread. But yeah. Then we had breakfast. So morning food. And you could do a faster morning, like it's just like that motion of like up straight to your mouth. So you don't have to go morning food. Like, no, you can do morning food. Or the other option, breakfast. Then lunch. Then dinner. Okay, so the next one I have is some desserts. Also, I know what I forgot in the meats. Chicken. I have it down here. I think I forgot, like I did it last time and I added it down here. The sign for chicken is also going to be the sign for bird. And it's chicken. So it's that pointer finger and your thumb and you're just bouncing it like baby shark, but it's on your nose. Chicken. Your kitten is so cute. I'm sorry. I saw her and I was like, I cannot. Okay, so let's go to our desserts. So for the sign for desserts itself is going to be, you'll have 2 D's. You're going to have them sideways and they're going to tap desserts. I am going to say, I'll add this here. If you have you do the same thing, but it's up top. This is dating. So just an FYI, you want to make sure you're sideways for your desserts. Okay, so the first one I have is cookie. And the sign for cookie is it's going to be like that singular C. And you're going to bring it to your mouth. Cookie. Then we have, yes, I actually do have a few I can send out. I think we have a list of resources. Sorry, someone asked if when you're searching for a word and sign online, like, is there specific websites to use? Yes, there's a couple apps too that I have. I'll go over that. Don't let me forget. I'll try to because we're almost done. I'll try to go through it at the end. Okay. So the next one we have is pie. So what you're going to do for pie is you're going to have your non-dominant palm up, and your dominant is going to make like a slicing motion. And you're making like a triangle. Like, I know you can't really see, but like I'm making like a triangle shape. Like you're cutting out a slice of pie. Pie. Then we have cake. So cake has about 2 ways I've seen. Typically the one I see is cake. It's like an open C and it's on top. Some people use this just for cupcake and not cake itself. I typically use it for both, unless I'm talking about like small cupcakes. Then I'll actually like either finger spell cupcakes, but most of the time they catch on. When in doubt, finger spelling cake is a lot faster because it's 4 letters, so you can do that. Another one I've seen is a C, and you do cake. So like it's like you're grabbing it. So like, let me see. If I'm sideways, I'm like sliding it towards me. The C is like going towards me. Cake. Then I have ice cream. So ice cream is going to just be ice cream. So it's like you're licking the ice cream. Ice cream. And those are all my desserts. I think brownies you just finger spell. I've not seen an actual sign for brownies. So, but also like I don't know why brownies don't come up in conversation often, which is weird because every other dessert comes up often, but that one doesn't. And like that's one of my favorites. I need to ask about that because like why don't we talk about brownies at school? I don't know why. So if you were going to talk about a specific kind of like cake, or cookie or pie, so we'll do the types of cake. We'll do our main 3 at the moment. So our main 3 is going to be vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. Strawberry simple. It's going to be that sign strawberry. For vanilla, what you're going to do is you're going to have the back of your hand like this for your non-dominant. Dominant's in that V shape, and you're going to just slide in a circle on top of it. And this is vanilla. And then chocolate, same thing, but with a C. Chocolate. And that also goes for ice cream too. So any types of ice cream, vanilla, chocolate ice cream, those as well. And chocolate pie. We don't typically say vanilla pie. If you were talking about a lemon pie, you do lemon. There is a sign for coconut, but I've also seen people just finger spell. So coconut's gonna be 2 C's, and you're gonna go like coconut, and it's like you're shaking the coconuts, that kind of motion, coconut, and you put it next to the side of your ear, so it's not like just in front, like it's in the side, like right here, like coconut. But also coconut works too. Let's see. That's just the basic flavors. Again, like I said, the more specific you go, I would finger spell if you're talking about a specific kind. Yeah, let's see. Okay. We'll just go ahead and do our drinks. That way we'll just kind of finish them up, and then we'll review all through our desserts through drinks. Okay. So the sign for water is going to be a W. Your pointer finger is going to go to the corner of your mouth, and you're going to tap it, water. This can also be used if you're when you're talking about like bodies of water, like you're like different kinds of things like that. The only difference is that when you're doing like water and then you're talking about like a body, you would like use your pointer fingers to describe it. So if you're talking about like a pond or like a river, you go water, and then like a thin little like the wiggly motions of it. But if you're talking about just the drink water, it's just water. I just thought I'd like to add that little one there. Then we have milk. This is one probably you've all probably seen, most likely have seen. This one they usually teach babies to sign, which is always, I think, a very good sign. I wish they would encourage more signing, but that's me being biased. I know it. Excuse me. The next one is juice, and it's going to be juice. It's just a J motion. I have seen it closer to your mouth. The only problem I've ever noticed is that there's also jealous around here. It's hard to like, I always have to double check because like I see some with the pointer, some with the pinky. So I typically kind of do juice. I'm like orange juice, apple juice. I add that J at the side to kind of make it a little bit clearer. And then I think we did T, but I'll do it again. T. So you have your non-dominant in a C, your dominant's in that F shape. You're going to have your little, and you're going to have it in a circle motion. So it's like you're dipping the tea bag in the tea and stirring it. Tea. Then we have coffee. So coffee is going to be 2 fists, like 2 S's. You're going to put them on top of each other, and then you make them in a circular motion. So it's like the grinding of the coffee. Coffee. And then we have our final one we have is soda. So soda is going to be, think about like you're holding, again, that C with the can, and that middle finger is going to flick open that like tap, and then you slam it. So soda. I went really wide on that one, but soda. I know it's like a weird fast motion, but like the faster you do it, the faster it like kind of blends and makes sense. But it's always a weird one to try to slow down and show. Okay. That is all I have for the foods. Let's go through those. Then I'll leave it open for if there's any types of foods you guys can think of. And then at the end, I will talk about the different types of apps and websites you guys can use. Sound good? Okay, so let's go back to our desserts. So we start off with dessert. And then the first one we did was cookie. Cookie. Then, sorry, my dog got a box. He has fun chewing boxes, and I just heard noises, but it's him. He's fine. Then we have pie. Pie. Then we had cake. So there was cake and cupcakes. I guess I'll add that. And then cake. That C coming towards cake. Then we had ice cream. Ice cream. And then we had the 2 flavors we talked about. Vanilla. Well, I mean, we did do strawberry. You are right. Vanilla and then chocolate. Good. Okay. Then, I did forget the sign for chicken. So we had done that one. Chicken. Then I think this is when we went on to our drinks. So we did water. And then we did milk. Then we had juice. Then tea. And you want to make sure you don't, I know I did the dipping motion. This is vote. So you want to make sure you do it in a circle. Yeah, that was a big difference. I had to learn, very much so, especially as someone who would grow up helping make her mom's tea and always dipped it in. So I was like, that does not make sense to me. But a nice little stirring of our tea. Then coffee. And this one you want to make sure you just go like you're making circle motions with. Coffee. And then our final one of soda. Okay. Are there any other types of food signs you guys can think of or are curious of if they have a sign? Obviously, I can't put every single type of food there is in my little list. I try to keep it as broad and basic as possible, and then let you guys have any questions I can add. So are there any food signs you all can think of? Well, I will add this one actually, because I just thought about, because Thanksgiving is coming up. Turkey. So for turkey, what you're going to do is you're going to do a Q, and you're going to put under your chin. Turkey. 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 Good. Okay. French fries. Oh, here we go. So French fries, super easy. You have the F, you go French fries. French fries. French fries. Oatmeal, I've seen only really finger spelled. Unfortunately, that's what I've just seen with it. Peanut butter does have one. So way you do peanut, so sign for peanuts, it's kind of a weird one, is you're gonna like, it's almost like you're actually hitting your teeth, like you're hitting like your tooth, and you're flicking it with your tongue, and that's peanut. And then you do butter. It's like 2 fingers and you brush. So peanut butter, peanut butter. I think peanut's kind of a weird one sometimes, because like you almost like you really got it. You can't just go peanut, like you have to have it like in front of your mouth. Peanut butter. If you were gonna do buffalo wings, honestly, that'd be a lot of finger spelling. It would just resort down to finger spelling. You would do buffalo chicken wings. I'm also a wing girl. Okay, I love Buffalo Wild Wings. Okay, like I have one literally 2 minutes from my house, and when my best friend comes to visit, we literally go there. And I mean, I think I would have to just finger spell buffalo wings, like chicken wings. Soup does have one. Soup is also the same sign for cereal, like in the morning, and it's gonna be. I love that. Okay, but yeah, so it's soup, cereal. The difference is really I think you'd have to identify the difference. I think most of the time you can separate it as in the morning I had cereal, in the afternoon, at night for dinner I had soup. But I know there's some people, because I was this teenager who ate cereal for dinner. I probably would finger spell cereal. Just if I was like, oh yeah, for dinner I'd be like cereal. Like it wasn't. No, it's cereal. Just to make that difference. But yeah, any others you guys can think of? I'll leave the chat open. Let me give you guys the websites and apps that I use that are helpful. So the first one I have, whoops, I turned on the wrong thing. My goodness, I'm so sorry if y'all can hear all this noise. I promise it's just having fun over there. The main app I use, and I'm going to type it in the chat box so y'all can see it, is called Spread the Sign. And there's no spacings between it. It's free. I think there's an option you can buy like a whole like account to like make it more, to pay for more. You don't have to though. Yes, I think she does have a list of resources she can email later. But you can type in what words you're looking for. The thing I also like with the Spread the Sign is that you can actually look up different sign languages for different countries. So like British Sign Language, or I guess they call it really English Sign Language, but for us that throws us off because we say English. But Spanish Sign Language, you can look those up just to have some fun. Some of them are not as many, like they only have like a word or two, but it's always kind of cool just to see, especially like how different or how similar certain words are. So you can do that. The sign I use on my, like when I'm typing in websites, is going to be called Signing Savvy. I think it's .com. I typed that in, signingsavvy.com. That one's a pretty good one. It does have ads, I will say, that can get kind of annoying, but it's also free. And that will also show you the different levels. So like it may say ASL 1, ASL 2. Really, that just means the different types. It also is pretty good about showing you just how you would finger spell it too. So it kind of gives you a good practice. I'm trying to think of some others. They're on YouTube. Oh, I always forget his name. Why am I Bill? Oh no. Why I'm losing his name. He has a lot of videos on YouTube that are good. Like he teaches, like it's almost like he's teaching one-on-one with one person, sign language. And his name, Bill Vickers. There it is. Bill Vickers. And if you look him up on YouTube, he's got a ton of different videos. He can also give you more signs after this class too, like practicing and stuff like that. It's really good videos. Let's see what else. There's this one website, I'm gonna say it. I have not checked in a while. It's kind of I remember it in college and it was a good one, but I don't know how well it is now. But I mean, it's still just a source, and especially just to let you know if you hear of it, and it's called lifeprint.com, I think. It might be a little, I'll have to double check it, because like I said, it's kind of old, but it was really helpful when I was in college. I liked it a lot as well. So those are just a couple of things. A lot of the apps, sometimes they want you to pay for them and things like that, which I get it, but also it's a little annoying. That's why I really do like to spread the sign. You can pay, but it's not like it's totally useless without paying. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I think those are my main ones, my main little resources. But yeah, are there any questions you guys have before we go?
I'll look back through our previous emails and see if there were any others that we had shared. I don't think there are, but I'll double check.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here I feel like there's more, but also I could be wrong. So, alrighty. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of y'all's week. Next week, we will be doing, whoops, wrong one. Let's see. Let me double check real quick and then I'll let y'all go. Yes, so next week we're gonna do animals, which is a fun one. So think about some fun different animals that y'all know. But not too specific, because the more specific you go, finger spelling. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna sit there and smile and go, yeah, finger spell it. So, but think of some fun ones. And yeah. So, all right. Well, like I said, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of y'all's week. I will see you next Tuesday. Bye, guys.